Hi, I'm Olivia, and today's Happy Nugget comes from Willa Cather, one of the greatest American writers, who won the Pulitzer Prize in 1922 for her novel One of Ours. She is most famous for immortalizing rural America, life on the frontier, and the pioneering spirit of the immigrants who settled in the Midwest, with her powerful novels, O Pioneers and My Antonia. From My Antonia. All those fall afternoons were the same, but I never got used to them. As far as we could see, the miles of copper-red grass were drenched in sunlight that was stronger and fiercer than at any other time of the day. The blonde cornfields were red gold. The haystacks turned rosy and threw long shadows. The whole prairie was like the bush that burned with fire and was not consumed. That hour always had the exultation of victory, of triumphant ending. Like a hero's death, heroes who died young and gloriously. It was a sudden transfiguration, a lifting up of day. Cather's writing is delicate, subtle, evocative, but also fierce. Like her heroes, strong and determined. By the time she won the Pulitzer Prize in 1922, she was one of the best-known, most influential writers in the United States, admired by the likes of Truman Capote and F. Scott Fitzgerald. In fact, Cather published one of her other great novels, A Lost Lady, in 1923. Fitzgerald published The Great Gatsby in 1925, and wrote to her apologizing for what he feared was an apparent instance of plagiarism. I think Fitzgerald's masterpiece was greatly influenced by the overall essence of Cather's writing. The Great Gatsby is about the end of the 1920s in America, and the end of a colossal illusion embodied by a gentleman, Gatsby. A Lost Lady is about the end of a glorified era of pioneering and the coarse transition out of it, embodied by a lady, Mrs. Forrester. Willa Cather was born in Virginia in 1873. When she was 9 years old, she moved with her family to Red Cloud, Nebraska. She attended University of Nebraska at Lincoln, and when she was 23 years old, she moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and later New York City, where she spent the next 18 years working and struggling to become a writer. She was a journalist and an editor. Then she spent 5 years teaching high school before she became managing editor at McClure's magazine. All those years, she spent toiling, perfecting her craft, absorbing the wisdom of the literature of the past and the great art of the present, never losing sight of her ultimate goal. In 1912, she took one of the most important journeys of her life to the Southwest, through Arizona, to the Grand Canyon, down to New Mexico, and back to Red Cloud for the summer. Cather internalized her life experiences, drawing from the memories of her past and the people in her past, as well as her travels. Being back in Nebraska, in Red Cloud, gave her the perspective to combine two of the stories she had been writing into what became her celebrated novel, O Pioneers. Cather herself was a pioneer, challenging the status quo of the literary elites of the past and of her times. Like many of her heroes, Cather lived life on her own terms, regardless of expectations. In one of my favorite books, The Song of the Lark, one of the best stories I've ever read on the nature of being an artist, Cather writes, "She rose impatiently and walked to the edge of the cliff. It's not that so much. It's waking up every morning with a feeling that your life is your own, and your strength is your own, and your talent is your own, that you're all there and there's no sag in you. Artistic growth is, more than it is anything else, a refining of the sense of truthfulness. The stupid believe that to be truthful is easy. Only the artist, the great artist, knows how difficult it is. That afternoon, nothing new came to Thea Kronborg, no enlightenment, no inspiration. She merely came into full possession of things she had been refining and perfecting for so long. Her inhibitions chanced to be fewer than usual, and, within herself, she entered into the inheritance that she herself had laid up, into the fullness of the faith she had kept before she knew its name or its meaning. There's a pioneer in all of us, ready to conquer the landscape of our own hearts. No matter how long the struggle, never lose sight of your ultimate goal." And that's today's Happy Nugget. If you enjoyed this video, Please like it, share it, and subscribe. As always, I link below the video anything I talk about. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. See you next time.